Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking brushes. Favorite brushes. Some of these are my ride or dies that I've been using for years, a couple from MAC. Some of these are new. I feel like all the companies are coming out with brushes right now. And I just want to show you all the ones that I've been using for years and ones that I know I'm going to be using for years. So without talking too much, let's get started. All right, so we're going to start on our eyes and we're going to talk blending brushes because those are key. Even if you're advanced in makeup or you're starting out in makeup, your blending brushes are the key. It's key. It's really all you need to get started. So my favorites at the moment are from Smith, Cosmetics, and then I have two from LT. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Smith 232. It's like a giant fluffy brush. It's honestly, sometimes I feel like I keep this brush really clean and I always just go back over everything just to blend everything together. One of my things is like, you always have to keep a clean fluffy brush. And now that doesn't mean it has to be spotless, but like whenever I'm doing, say I'm doing this halo eye, I always have this brush beside me just to go back through and just melt everything back together. And I just feel like this brush does the job. This is a Smith 232. I've had this brush for about a year and a half, bomb.com. Definitely recommend this as a blending brush. Next up, LT. So the LT brushes are fairly new. I think they just came out like a couple months ago, maybe even a month ago. And I have been using them nonstop, all of them. Like I wanted to feature all of them, but I just felt like this video was gonna be too long and Ben's gonna be like, okay, that's enough with your brushes. But LT is honestly one of my favorite brands. I can't get over it. Like it's such a good brand and these brushes are just incredible. So these two here are still blending brushes. I like this one. This one reminds me of a MAC 217 and it just fits in here so perfectly and it basically blends for you. They're so soft. I need to pull up and see what these are made out of really fast. And I also love this one. So I have the E1 and then the E4. It's a little shorter and a little more tapered, so it really fits in here. In fact, I did this to create this really deep halo eye, and honestly, these two, I highly recommend adding to your kit. If you can get the entire brush set, I would highly recommend that too, but if you just have to add a couple, I have all my favorites here, so hopefully this helps you decide. Now we're gonna talk about this LT E5, probably one of the best pencil brushes I have ever used. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the perfect I'm like staring at it all cross-eyed, but it's so good. So I pulled up about the complete brush set collection from LT. I know that it's made in Italy. These are vegan, cruelty-free, like hypoallergenic, eco-friendly, and they're handmade Italian. I mean, I knew these brushes were popping. These brushes, oh my gosh. I'm telling y'all, I've been using brushes. And LT has become one of my favorites. I still love the Smith, but I'm not gonna lie, these LT brushes are out here popping. So I'm gonna highly recommend this one as a pencil brush. It just fits in here so good and it smokes underneath here. I'm telling y'all, pencil brush of all the pencil brushes. Now we're moving on to some of my ride or dies. I think I've had about 15 of these in my entire makeup wearing life. This is the MAC 224 and the MAC 217. These are the only two brushes I had. These are the only two eye brushes I had for like years. And they did everything I needed them to do. I do love them. There's other brushes I love more now, but I feel like these are never gonna leave my collection. They're not. The 217 is honestly, I think MAC just perfected the blending brush. And then the 224 is fluffier. And it honestly just diffuses color so beautifully. Like I said, there's ones that I love more, like the LT ones now, but for how much these are, they're still like a ride or die for me. Like they're not going to go anywhere. You're never going anywhere. Next up, we have the Smith 235 brush. Ben just reminded me, he's like, you use that Smith 235 in like all of your tutorials. And I'm like, you are right, where is it? This reminds me of a MAC 217 a whole lot. It's a little more tapered. And you know, I really love that it's tapered because it's gonna fit in your crease so much better. And it's actually gonna create that crease for you. It's gonna do a lot of the work for you when you have a blending brush that's already tapered. So I feel like I still use my 217, but this really has taken the place of a 217. So this is a Smith 235. I also love the way Smith brushes come to a point. It makes them more like a paintbrush, and they're extremely easy and weighted. Like, they just fit in your hand so much better. Like, I can't get over this brush. I use this one endlessly. And then there's one more from Smith that Ben was like, girl, you need to put that in there. He talks to me that way. Okay, now my Smith 253 I use as a lid brush. Now, one of the reasons I love it is because it is so tapered that it can carve out your lid. Like, I want to like show you really fast. I need a mirror though, so my phone's gonna have to do. So when you look down into your mirror, say this is your mirror, what it does is when you're carving out your lid, this is really going to shape it because it's so tapered. It's so soft. I'll have all the brushes listed below, and then you can figure out what they're all made out of, which I will probably, actually I'll have that pop up. That'll be a good idea, Ben. I'll find that out for you so you don't have to work too hard. Because I do want you guys, I know a lot of you want them to be cruelty-free, vegan, and some of these are, some of these aren't, but animal hair sometimes, actually I want to cut that out because I don't want to get too deep into that, sorry. Oh my gosh, we've ran into a crisis. Ben just informed me that the Mac 228 is discontinued. I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. I'm literally looking for it and I can't find it. He was like, no, you can't find it anywhere. You didn't know this? And I'm like, what? What did they use to replace it? What is happening? Ben, I need answers.
It's a whole different set.
Help me, Mac. Help. What is similar? What are we going to do? This is the best inner corner highlight brush in the history of mankind. If it had not been for this, I would be nowhere. I'd be nowhere. Honestly, I'm about to hop on eBay and buy me some Mac 228 brushes. I know like this really would probably be my ride or die brush out of all my brushes because the inner corner it's why. It's just why. It's who I am. An inner corner is who I am. Me, my Mac 28, and my ColourPop tassel. Like this makes tassel what it is. Do you guys have a Mac 228? What are we gonna do? Who do we call? There needs to be a hotline for these kind of emergencies. So seriously, best inner corner highlight brush in the history of mankind. I wish Ben would have told me off camera. I wasn't ready. So if you guys have this or you're able to find a Mac 228, your inner corner, you spray some Fix Plus on this, pop in. I guess my next mission is to go find something to replace a Mac 228. Okay, we can dry our tears momentarily. I found it on Belk.com. It's $20. It's there. Item detail, okay, it's the Mac 228 mini shader brush. I'm gonna list it below. Hopefully it will still be in stock by the time this rolls around. Obviously, I checked the Mac website, Ben was right. It's out of stock right now, but it's definitely in stock on Belk.com. Link below. Another reason the LT brushes are quickly becoming my favorite. This has become my favorite brow brush. The spoolie is so soft, yet it defines your brows and brushes the product through perfectly. This is the perfect angle. I've been using brow powder. So I will say I'm only using brow powder with this brush, but it just creates the softest, like feather-like fluffiness in my brows. And I'm really particular with my brow brushes. I was using Anastasia. This one took the place. If you're looking for a new brow brush, definitely the LT B12. So now I want to talk liner brushes. These are so crucial. And I want to tell you the type of liner I use is the Inglot Gel Liner number 77. So I use a gel liner in a pot. I cannot find better liner brushes. So I haven't loved a liner brush as much as I love this LT L13 in years. The look I did the other day with the red lip and the perfect wing, this is the brush I use. It gives you that beautiful 50s cat eye. Absolutely, so easy to work with. It just like did the work for you. And it's really not even that tiny. You would think you would want a really tiny one. I love this one too. This one I like to tight line with. But if you're looking for a winged liner, eyeliner brush, the LT L13 all the way. If you're looking to just tight line your eyes very close to the lash line and even underneath here, I even use this with eyeshadows too to get very close to my lash line, and this is the LTE6. Both of these are amazing, but if you're wanting wing liner, this one. If you're wanting to tight line and kind of even just blend out shadows really close to your lash line, then I would go with this one. So I usually don't use foundation brushes, and I haven't used them in years until I found the Smith 115. So what I do with this is I will even buff in my foundation. I still use my LT blender, but I kind of paint this on my face, and it just gives the right amount of product. Sometimes I feel like when I just do everything with my beauty sponge, I use too much product. So if I just put this on my face first and then go over it with my blender, I get the perfect amount of foundation. I also use this on my forehead. I only use this on my forehead and around my brows because it just fits so perfectly. I love how soft it is, and it just grabs the product. You can tell I love it. It's dirty. Okay. It's actually not that dirty. I think I washed it like 4 days ago, but I use it. And I have my brush cleaner. I'll tell you that at the very end. But honestly, if you're looking for a new foundation brush, the Smith 115, I use it in all my tutorials. You need it. Back to these Laura Mercier brushes. Oh, they're so nice. They're so nice. They're so soft. And I'm still trying to figure, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you guys know that I'm still trying, I'm looking at my emails right now, trying to figure out where the heck these are made. Like, we're all on a wild goose chase, but I do know that they're made of synthetic fibers, which I do love that. And they are so incredible. So the bronzing brush is so good. Like, it looks so large, you're like, what the heck? But it just warms up your skin so perfectly. So I'll bronze with this one. This is the bronzer. And then I go over it and kind of chisel out my cheekbones. This angled contour cheek, it just like I just feel it fitting right where it needs to fit. And then you just, oh, it's so, so good. And then the powder brush, this is how I just use it. And it's so soft. Honestly, these are new to my collection, but I have not put them down. Like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I do daily makeup tutorials on my Instagram Live, and you'll see me using these like nonstop, and I'm honestly just talking about them. Laura Mercier killed these. I don't know where they're made. I know they're pretty pricey. Of course, I'll have everything listed below with all the prices, but I would have bought these myself. Like, I would buy these. They're so good. So this is a MAC 135. This is what I was using for bronzer. I actually still love this one. This one, she's looking a little tired. I've had her for like 1.5 years, 2 years. It's been a minute. And I mean, do you see how good they still last though? MAC brushes are still absolutely amazing, and I still love this brush, but I just love the Laura Mercier bronzer brush at the moment. It's softer. This one is a little coarse. It's a little coarse, but it kind of like carves it out, and then I like how big it is because then you can just like go back up and blend. So I still recommend this brush, but I will say I'm definitely liking the Laura Mercier. So you'll see me use this brush a lot. This is a Japanese Fluffy Concealer, and it's called a 915 as well, but I know it's a Japanese Fluffy Concealer. And I will dust off powder, and a lot of times it looks like I'm just dusting off powder. Tiffany's bringing me food. But it looks like I'm just dusting off powder, but it's really me tapping it in. And I really love this brush. Like when I travel or I'm going out to parties, I'll take my blotting powder and I'll always take this brush. And you can just do touch-ups so easily, and it fits in your purse, and it just fits everywhere really small because you tend to crease around here and even on your smile lines. And you just kind of press it back in, and it's really soft and it's fluffy, and it just fits in all the tiny places. I love this brush. This is definitely a ride or die for me. I've been using this exact one for years, and it's lasted so good. So now I'm going to talk about highlighter brushes. This is an LT F9, again with the LT brushes. I've been using these a couple weeks, and they've honestly just taken over. They really and truly have. So I love this one for highlighting. It's so tapered, and I feel like you can either just pat it, and then it just hits right here where it needs to hit, or you can just drag it on its side, and it just highlights. It just blinds you. It just hits it so right. I love it. It also blends, and then I'll even go around the edges. And I was using a Smith, what is this one? The 112, and I still love my Smith 112. It's beautiful, but I just love how this one is so tapered. You can see the difference. I'm gonna hold it like this, and Ben's gonna focus for you guys. So the LT is just so tapered and it's so soft. Honestly, I've been using it nonstop. This one I still love. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I don't like my Smith 112, but I'm going to recommend the LT F9. Like, it just does it. You just tap it and then you just swipe it and then you're just like, boo! So I want to tell you about my favorite, more cat hair, my favorite brush for carving out my lid when I use my concealer and I'm doing a cut crease. This is a Laura Mercier cream eye detail, and I mean, the name says everything. And you just go right in here and it'll lay it down so nice right on your lid. And then you can use the more pointy tapered end to just like carve out whatever needs carved out. So if you're wanting to do a cut crease, this brush right here is definitely gonna help with that. So now I want to talk last but not least about my favorite beauty sponge. This is the LT Velvet Sponge. It's actually sold out right now, but I know it's gonna be back in stock. I have replaced this with all my other blenders. You guys see me use this all the time if you follow me on Instagram or Snapchat. It is so tapered, it fits in here. I mean, you just feel it fit in there like so perfectly. It's great for highlighting, contouring, blending your foundation. And I've had this one, how long have I had this one? Like 3 months, it's dirty right now. I wash it every single day and it's lasting so much better than all my other blenders. It's just so different. I was trying to just read a little bit about it. I know it's out of stock right now, but don't worry because LT will have a restock in it. I don't know. I don't know where this blender has been all my life. It's just changed the game. I love how this side is so large. I love how you can squish it and then it makes it where you can go down your nose. And then I love how it's so tapered to really get underneath your eye to blend out your concealer. It's just perfect. It's one of the softest ones I've ever used too, and I've used all of them. So this is my favorite blender, like hands down. Last but not least, I want to show you my favorite daily brush cleaner. I actually just use Dawn. Somebody's here apparently, and my puppy dog has got to go say hello. So I usually just use like dish soap, and I know it's sometimes a little astringent, but like it really, really works on disinfecting. So that's not a big thing. I'm not like into like any specific brush cleanser. In fact, I've used specific brush cleansers and they're too drying on my brushes. I feel like Dawn dish soap just doesn't do that. But in between my washes, this disinfects, and it's a quick drying alcohol-free brush cleanser, and it's like very quick drying, and it's perfect for sensitive skin, and it has tea tree oil in it, which we all know is really, really good to keep everything clean and disinfected. I love this brush cleanser. I use this almost every single day. It doesn't mess up my brushes. I've used other ones that do. This one's just really, really, really gentle. So if you're looking for like a daily brush cleanse to spray in between, this is it. Okay, real fast, I wanted to throw this in here because it's one of the best inventions that I have ever seen in the makeup department community. This is the Brushworks Artist Easel Pro from Brushworks. I travel, and let me show it to you. I want to show you how it breaks down. You just set it up and it just sits here. We'll show you that really fast. And it's like just the most perfect design. I travel with it. I travel back and forth to the studio with it, and it holds all of your brushes. It holds eyeliners. It's honestly not talked about enough, and I don't know why. So let me break it down for you really fast. Ben will pop us back in here. So I wanted to break it down for you guys and show you. So it has 2 snaps on the sides here, and all you do is you unsnap them, then it's going to lay down, super simple, and then it turns into a book. And then you just close it, and it zips right up. Honestly, I don't know what I would do without this. This has saved me with all of my traveling and even traveling back and forth to the studio, and it's so lightweight. And then the tassel's super cute. I've had mine like a year, and it's in perfect condition. Like this hasn't like attempted to fall off. Even my tassel looks brand new. Like such a good invention. I want you guys to definitely go get one. I think they'd make like amazing gifts, and I just feel like they're needed. Like we didn't even know we needed this, but we need it. Okay guys, those are my favorite brushes, my ride or dies. Some are new, some have been around since I was like 14, maybe even younger. I love them. I think makeup brushes are just so crucial to makeup application. Let me know your favorite brushes because I'm always on the look for new brushes, whether that be face, eyeliner, eyebrow. Just let me know your favorites in the comments below. And I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.